Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday morning, December the 16th. Quite an active weather pattern across much of the nation. Looks quite mild for the next few days in the eastern part of the country. Therefore, multiple systems that we'll have to deal with will be in the form of rain, certainly along the I-95 corridor region. There is one system moving away from the East Coast this morning. Another one moves into the eastern states for later tonight and early Tuesday, and then yet another system later Wednesday night into early Thursday. Following that, it looks like quite a cold shot for roughly the period of December 20th to the 24th or so. It looks like it'll be a cold weekend in much of the eastern part of the nation going into the early part of Christmas week. And in fact, Sunday is likely to be the coldest day so far this season in much of the eastern U.S. Now, out west, lots of snowfall for those higher elevations of the Rocky Mountain states, and certainly from Sierra Nevada mountains and eastern California all the way up through the higher elevation locations of Oregon and Washington, and especially in the southwestern part of Canada. They'll get pummeled with substantial snowfall over the next 10 days or so. Let's kind of take a look at where we stand right now for the month of December, just about at the midway point here. Colder for the month of December through the eastern half of the nation, but warmer out west. Overall, very close to normal here, but again, a lot of cold air outbreaks for the central and eastern U.S. Looks like another pretty significant period of colder than normal weather in the central and eastern U.S. again from late this week through the weekend into the early part of next week, above normal for the first half of December out across the western states. And here's a look from yesterday's European ensemble run for the temperature anomalies. We're looking at 2-meter temperature anomalies for that time period from December 19th to the 26th. So this goes from late this week, early this weekend, right into the middle part of next week, right to Christmas Day, and a continuation of a similar pattern that we've experienced through the first half of December, with warmer than normal conditions on average for that 6 or 7 day period out in the west, and colder than normal out across the central and eastern states. Again, Sunday could turn out to be the coldest day so far this season. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, where temperatures actually may struggle to reach the freezing mark. And there could be some snow shower activity on Friday or Saturday in the Mid-Atlantic, in the Northeast U.S. We'll talk about that over the next couple of minutes. Well, let's take a look at the 0Z run of the GFS. We're looking here at the 850 millibar temperature anomalies. A lot of above normal conditions right now across the Midwest, especially focused over the Hudson Bay region of Canada. And again, for the next 2 or 3 days, it'll be quite a bit above normal, relatively mild conditions across much of the central and eastern U.S. We'll move forward here in time, and we do have multiple systems to deal with over this next 3 or 4 day period in the eastern states, mostly in the form of rain with these milder conditions here. Then we get to midweek and we look upstream and we start to see colder than normal air dropping southeast across the Great Lakes. This is towards the latter part of the week here now. We're looking at the Thursday morning forecast map, and it turns even colder than this, as we'll see in a moment here, over the upcoming weekend. Here is Saturday, certainly of interest here. There'll be a playoff game at Penn State, and it looks quite cold indeed for that first playoff game here on Saturday. I believe it's a noontime game. Below normal conditions. And again, Sunday very likely could be the coldest day so far this season. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, where temperatures could struggle to get to the freezing mark. A lot of warmer than normal conditions out across the interior west. We'll go into the early part of next week, and here we go into 1 week from right now. Next Monday, the 23rd, colder than normal air still hanging on along the eastern seaboard, but much above normal out across the northern plains. Well, let's walk through the 500 millibar height anomaly maps here, and we'll talk about that change of snow showers in the Friday, Saturday time period over the Mid-Atlantic region, and a potential storm looks like it'll stay just off the Mid-Atlantic coastline and not impact directly the Mid-Atlantic region. Still something we'll monitor over the next few days, but we'll show the reason why here in a moment. Here we have generally high pressure ridging across the much of the nation over the next few days, and again, relatively mild overall pattern. Then we get into the latter part of the week and we start to see some blues showing up. And this upper level trough, by the time we get to late Thursday, is kind of driving to the south and he's deepening somewhat. By the time we get to Friday, and then ultimately by the time we get to Saturday, it's a pretty impressive upper level feature, but it's just a little bit too far to the east to produce a surface storm that can impact directly the Mid-Atlantic region. It's a close call, something we'll certainly monitor over the next couple of days here, but again, right now it's looking like it's just a little bit too far to the east. We'll see the surface maps in a moment here, and then we go through the upcoming weekend. Again, it stays cold right into the early part of next week on Monday across the East Coast, but then ridging takes over to the west, so especially focused over the Great Lakes region by a week from right now, next Monday, December 23rd. Well, here are the surface maps from the 0Z run of the GFS, and again, an active weather pattern. We have a system right now in the Mid-Atlantic region that is going to pull away this morning. A second one moves in later on tonight into early Tuesday, and then a third one later Wednesday night into early Thursday. And here we go, farther to the north over those higher elevation locations of New England. It's cold enough for some snow, but right now just some drizzle and light rain from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City. That pulls away, and another system puts down some rainfall here later on tonight into early Tuesday. And again, this is all welcome rain for the Mid-Atlantic region where it's been quite dry. It stays quite mild right into midweek. And finally, a third system produces some rainfall along the I-95 corridor region with a cold frontal passage. Snow in the upstate of New York and interior part of New England midweek, late Wednesday night time frame. Certainly some accumulations. And we see upstream strong Canadian high diving down into the south central part of Canada, and this cold air mass starts to filter in on Thursday, but there's kind of a secondary push that will come on the heels of this clipper type system. Here we are now into Friday, and we have that upper level feature just off the Mid-Atlantic coastline, and that will spawn a surface low pressure area, but it looks like it'll stay mostly off the east coast and not have a direct impact on the I-95 corridor region. This clipper, though, certainly can produce some snow showers in the Mid-Atlantic region later Friday night into the day on Saturday. We'll move forward here. This particular model run tends to weaken it, although I do believe there can be some snow showers Friday night into the day on Saturday, and then it turns really cold behind it. And here goes that low pressure area that intensifies quite a bit, but off the eastern seaboard during the early part of the upcoming weekend. And here we go, by the time we get into Saturday night, notice this thickness line of 516. That is some cold air. Again, this is late Saturday night, and going into the day on Sunday morning, 516 thickness all the way down into southeastern Virginia. Likely the coldest day of the season so far. Again, high temperatures will likely be confined to the lower 30s or even below that. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City on Sunday, and certainly will be a noticeable breeze as well. Then we go into Monday of next week. That cold air hangs on for Monday along the eastern seaboard, but there will be milder air pumping up into the middle part of the nation for the early and middle part of next week. So an active weather pattern, still some cold air shots on the horizon here, especially in that period from late this week into the early part of next week for much of the central and eastern states. Again, Sunday could be the coldest day so far. D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.